Welcome, my name is Tashar and this is, well, not StarMade, but it is a StarMade video. Obviously this is, of course, Minecraft, and you might wonder why I am in Minecraft at the moment. Well, there's a couple of reasons for it. First of all, I haven't been all that active with new videos lately. Basically a combination of lack of time and some other issues that popped up. And one of those issues was a very annoying null pointer exception that I always could get in the StarMade version I had before the last update. Fortunately, it was fixed within the last update, but yeah, at the time I couldn't really resolve it all that reliably. So I did some other things with my time. Got a bit distracted by playing the latest Dishonored game, the second one, and I did some more Minecraft building. This is my castle, and it got me thinking a bit. Let's go down for a bit. In Minecraft, you normally just build a base, could be a castle like mine, or a hole in the mountain or in the ground you hide in, and then you collect your resources by digging inside the earth. And all these resources you collect, you put them in a storeroom or something like that. Mine is at the moment temporary over here inside. This is my starting hut. And you use those resources to build whatever you like. So this is my working storeroom. It's not much, just a hole in the ground and a couple of chests. And as far as gameplay goes and the way you build up your base, it's very compact. You don't need a lot to get a lot done. I mean, what kind of technology do I have here? A couple of furnaces, and this is an auto furnace, so yeah, that's the most sophisticated piece of technology I use. And with those simple tools, I am able to build a complete castle. A very big castle, even. It's a design I already completed a while ago. So this build style I used before. So this is, I think, the third version of this castle I built on the server. And it was easy for me to reconfigure it to fit into the landscape. It's about 84 by 75 meters in size as a footprint goes. So it's a reasonable sized castle. That's about the size of a wave breaker, and that's a missile frigate. Not that big a ship. Yeah, so basically you're flying a castle in space. That's basically leading to my next point. A sense of scale. In Minecraft, this is big. This is a big castle. Okay, there's bigger castles out there, of course, but if you walk around in here, then as a person, you're very small compared to the actual build of the place itself. So, what's the difference with StarMade? In StarMade, you, as a person, usually are the ship. So a ship is bigger, and if you want to compare that to Minecraft, your ship is your person. Okay, you have astronaut mode, but a lot of the time you will not spend in astronaut mode, but in ship mode, because you're mining or exploring or fighting. So every time you collect resources or do some other tasks within StarMade, you need a base or a ship that can service your ship that is dedicated to this particular task, if it is a miner or a fighter or whatever. So the sense of scale gets a lot bigger than we have here in Minecraft. And that basically got me thinking again, okay, the way you play Minecraft, the way you collect resources and then do things with them, we could apply that to StarMade as well. Perhaps not in the actual gameplay mechanic, the way it works, but it does work in a roleplay perspective. And usually my ship builds and station builds are very roleplay orientated. So I thought it was a good move to take this idea and design the station around it. So that's what I want to show you, at least the first part of it today in today's episode. Getting some ideas going about how to collect resources, process them then in a station, and then use those resources to build a ship. A very simple concept, but there's many ways to implement it. So that's it for Minecraft. We'll leave this castle here and we'll jump into the actual StarMade game. And we're back in StarMade again with all the fancy wedges and logic and lasers that we love about this game. And okay, we're going to combine some of the ideas I got from Minecraft about resource collecting and using that to build something, to translate that to and combine it with StarMade. So basically going to build StarCraft. Well, it sounds funny, but actually it's true. We're going to build a base with dedicated areas that do specific tasks. So we've got a building for collecting the resources, for processing them, and then using those resources to create materials. So we need some sort of factory setup, and then that factory setup will produce units. And we can even go further. We can create specific factory areas to create specific units. So, for example, a small type of shipyard to create fighters, a bigger one for frigates, etc., etc. I already did some additional research on just Google some images, and I stumbled upon one image that a concept artist did for one of the Halo games that I thought was very appropriate to use as a starting point. I'll try to find the link again and put it in the description below, and then you can try to find the picture yourself. It basically was a concept picture of a loading bay that didn't make it into the game. It already started building some of it, and it was a very quick type of drawing. So there was some detail in it, but not a lot. So a lot of the detailing that went into the area is basically guesswork for me, and I can use that as an inspiration to build my own thing, but keep the general layout of this particular loading area, because that's what I want to start with. I want to start with a loading area where a ship can go and drop off resources. The way I see it, regardless of what type of a resource collector is going to approach this station, there will be a set of smaller ships that will pendle between the station and the bigger resource collector. So the resource collector itself will never actually dock to the station. The resources will be carried over by these smaller ships. So that's also tying into the actual scale of things, and the scale of things can be sometimes a bit of a problem within StarMade, because things tend to get big, really big, and that's of course resource intensive. So this picture of this concept loading dock for Halo had these, well, what I basically call piers sticking out within a central docking area, a very open area. It had some buildings and some other cranes and things in it. I really like that idea, so I thought to use that as my starting point for my new base and basically try to capture that feel of that concept picture. We've got, like I said, these two piers here already. The idea is to have on the ends of the piers docking points for a worker bee that they can temporarily dock on, and then these sticky out bits are basically reserved for some sort of crane or a train cart that can move back and forth to unload the cargo that the smaller ships will have once they dock into these docking areas. But yeah, let's continue with this build and we'll show you the next phase. This version already shows a lot more of where I'm going with this and is a lot more recognizable if you compare it with the concept art. The piers are done now, they're filled in, and we've got all these bits and bobs and plates to make it all nice and detailed. We've got these antenna bits on the bottom of it, and then we've got the walls on the sides, on both sides. There will be one in the back as well, to define our area where our ships will dock. You could basically see this as a kind of shipyard, naval shipyard that you normally have with water, but in space. So we would drive a ship in here and then dock it like this. It will be a long, narrow ship, and then all the items it carries will be offloaded to the pier on this side. And of course on this side if you're docked on the other side of the docking area. And then that will be processed to a central collection area in the back. And here we go. The back wall, at least the lower part, is in. And I couldn't really see on the picture how it exactly was made out to be. So like I said, I'm using my own interpretation of what I see in the picture. So I thought it was a fun idea to add a docking area here, a door for my worker bees. So we've got the docking rails in here as well. They will come in here, then go to some sort of worker bee docking area, and they will exit from this side. So they've got their own space to fly out of this area. And again, a lot of plating and details and girders to make it look detailed and make it feel alive. I've put some doors into the worker bee docking area, so it is nicely closed off. Got some logic over here that would make it work. Let's see if you can. Yeah, there it goes. So I use the slabs to get the line in the middle. Get it nicely with the yellow blocks, half blocks in a jacket pattern. I quite like that. So we close it again, like this. There we go. There it is. So the back wall is now all closed off. The rest is still the same. But I did some work with the framing on this side and the outer frame of what is basically the entrance of our docking area. And this is approximately the size, at least as far as I can guess, what I see on the picture, how big it should be. And this is, if I interpret it correctly, set inside a big asteroid. So we need to add some rocky elements to the side to make it look like it is inside the bigger asteroid. I'm first going to build the scene as I see it and then add my modules, the other modules I need to it. But it does give you the sense of scale what it is going to be. Adding the inner walls really gives it a sense of scale, how big it really actually is, this docking area. Because on the left and right side of the docking area are, at least in my interpretation, buildings. Could be office type buildings, construction type sort of factories, I don't know. That's really difficult to see on the picture. It's just that they have these window areas with these girder type structures in front of it that I really liked, and I put some lights inside it to just give it an interpretation of life, just to see how it looks. And on the back here we have our basic loading area, or a basic offloading area actually. So the train or crane construct will come from here, from the docking pier to here, then offload the cargo to the main areas over here. And then it will be sorted and processed and, well, whatever type of things they need to do to it. So yeah, this is really shaping up to be what I want it to be. And if you take a look at it from this side, this is about the angle that the picture is taken from. So this is all I am able to see. So the rest of the interior, this side and, well, some other areas on the bottom, etc., I have to figure out myself. See if I can make it work. And of course make it work in StarMade. And now we're a couple of steps further along. I basically completed the building portions of the docking area. So I added some buildings over here with a door to somewhere else. And then I added this, what I saw in the picture, a central, but I assume control area. So if you're in here, you can actually see the entirety of the docking area. So it's a good control point. Some buildings over here, added this building over here, and then added the lights in the middle to make it fit with the areas over here and over there with the lights. And added in a structure of my main crane. I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to do it like this, but I have to experiment a bit with it, what works and not. And there are a couple of other small details that are kind of fun. I added these points here. These are basically turret points that you can open up, and then a turret should pop up to defend this area. So for example, a rocket turret or whatever turret you want. And you can retract it if it is no longer needed, because this will not be a military base per se, but it does need some defenses for this area. And also, this is a really fun little detail, it's a security camera, and it actually works. As you can see, it moves from a 45-degree angle to a 90-degree angle, and it's docked below here, over here. So that's how I did the rotating bit. And then you can basically jump into the camera if you want. Then you can see how it turns back and forth. It's a really nice detail to give it a bit more life, I think. But yeah, it still needs a lot more clutter in it, in the areas, a lot more cargo. And like I said, I need to finish this main crane. So let's get to that. Well, this is starting to feel a lot more like the concept picture than it was before. I started adding the asteroid bits at the bottom here. This is a pain to do. I really wish we had some sort of terrain editing tool in StarMade, but unfortunately we don't, so I have to do it by hand if I want to get it the way I want it. But we'll get there eventually. And I started adding some shipping containers over here and some other cargo bits and doodads over here, and a star to get up here, some barrels and some sort of generator, and here is a large cargo area again. I also made these doors operational so you could look inside. This is some sort of airlock system that you can drive cargo through and then go to another area. And then added a bit of lighting in the back and at the top of the area, and did some more work on the big crane over here. Still needs to add the thing that goes up and down to get the cargo. So yeah, this is shaping up to be exactly what I wanted it to be. Feeling of a real live cargo dock. So now we need to finish this rocky bit, and we need to add the surrounding space station plating and some more rock to get the complete picture. And then I think we will start on designing a small cargo vessel to get the cargo from the miner out there to this docking area over here, and then see how we will offload the cargo from that ship. But that's it for now. I think I blabbed on long enough, and I'll see you next time.